Indiana Jones in the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull is a 2008 film that is, of course, directed by Steven Spielberg. And the plot of this movie is at the very beginning we see Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. Him and his trusted friend Mac get taken by the Russians because the Russians are looking for this crystal skull. That's supposed to be the answer, the key to everything, the ultimate knowledge. And they need Indiana Jones' help to look for it. And along the way, not only do we meet Shia LaBeouf's character, who has a special connection to Indiana Jones, but we find out that this crystal skull is also extraterrestrial in its origin. I'm not making that up. Now, what I thought of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull was, I didn't hate this movie. I didn't. There are things about it that I hate, but there's also things about it that I like, so where do I come down on this movie? I'll just say this right off the bat. It's definitely the weakest and the worst in the series. First things first, let's talk about Harrison Ford as Indiana Jones. I love Harrison Ford as this character. Even so many years later, it's been, I think, 19 years since the third movie. It's been a very long time, and he's older. He's a lot older. He's in his 60s. But there's something about him wearing the outfit, wearing the hat, that you just go along with it. And sure, there's so many moments when it comes down to the fighting or the chase scenes, and you could tell it's not Harrison Ford doing the stunts. Nor would I expect him to be doing most of these stunts. I mean, there's some moments where he is doing some of the fighting, and I appreciate that. But I guess you do get taken out a little bit of it when you see Indiana Jones swinging from ropes or jumping from car to car. You're just thinking, okay, not only can this not be Harrison Ford, but I can't even buy the Indiana Jones character at this age doing this. I know. There's not much more you can do about that. Cate Blanchett as the villain, she was okay. I like her as an actress. I guess since she was Russian and Russians were the villain here, they're presented in a way where they have no emotion. They're one monotone like way of talking. So you could say that there's nothing behind her that's villainous. Or she wants what she wants. She wants the answers to whatever the hell this crystal skull will present. But that's really it. And you can't say that the other Indiana Jones movies had better villains, so I can't discredit the movie for that. One thing that I loved about this film is that we brought Marion Ravenwood back. The female from the first movie, the love interest, who she was only in the one movie. She was never in the sequels, but for some reason she's the female lead that you think of when you think of the Indiana Jones movies and the best chemistry that he's had with another woman. So I loved that they brought her back. It was the same actress. She's older, but she's attractive. She's a MILF. And I say MILF because we meet her son, played by Shia LaBeouf, who is Mutt Williams. Mutt. And at first, Shia LaBeouf comes in and he needs Indiana Jones' help to look for John Hurt's character. But you come to a point where you find out that he is Indiana Jones' son. What? So I guess Marion got pregnant from Indiana Jones, and then he left her without knowing that she was pregnant. So he's not an asshole. But he didn't know. She didn't tell him, and he just now finds out. I don't really like this. I'm not saying I don't like the fact that Indiana Jones has a son, but I don't know if I like, and it's not even like I dislike Shia LaBeouf. I like Shia LaBeouf. He's a good actor. I think people crap on him sometimes for no reason, but I don't look at him in this movie and think, yeah, that's Indiana Jones' son. I don't get the feeling, the vibe off of him. Mac, who is a character that was in the first movie, Raiders of the Lost Ark, and he was in the third movie, The Last Crusade. He's, in some ways, a beloved character. I mean, he's a character that was Indiana Jones' friend, his ally, someone to be trusted, someone to always bail him out. And you get to this movie, and right at the beginning, he turns on Indiana Jones. He's a traitor. He's a backstabber. He sides with the Russians because he wants money and he wants this treasure as well. Wow. Wow. Really? And you could say, oh, well, it's been so many years since the original movies, and they wanted to do a swerve and do something big. So you kind of go like, okay, fine. But then you come to a point much later on in the film where he tells Indiana Jones, hey, I'm a double agent. I'm with you. I'm just interworking with them, but I'm with you. And then you kind of go like, oh, okay, I guess. At least he's not evil. But then right after that, it's like, oh, no, he is evil. He is fucked up. He is lying. He is a traitor. Like, the back and forth between his characters just made me dislike him even more. And I did not care about what happened to him. Another thing is there's a lot of CGI in this movie, and that not only annoys me because it reminds me how much newer this film is. When you watch the original movies, and it's all practical effects, and it looks great, but also the fact that those movies were made for less money. This movie was made for, like, I don't even know, almost $100 million. Like 10 times as much as the original movie. Especially like in the woods. And the backdrop, you could tell it's all a green screen. You could tell they're not really on location. Is this movie over the top? Is the action over the top? Is it too silly? Is it too goofy? You can't really say it's too much more over the top than the second movie, right? That had, you know, the black magic and voodoo and had all this stuff. But for some reason, the scene where Shia LaBeouf, when they were being chased, he gets hung up by these vines in a tree, and they just keep driving off. And then he sees monkeys swinging from these vines, so he starts swinging too. And then there comes a point where he even catches up to them driving on the vines. And I literally yelled out, fuck this. For some reason, that was just like, wow. But that's not even the worst part. Earlier in the film, there was a moment where Indiana Jones, he put himself in a refrigerator to survive a nuclear bomb. I'm not making this up. It happened. You nuke the fridge, is what you call it, I guess. Literally, the bomb goes off, the fridge goes flying miles and miles away, and Indiana Jones just comes out of it and survives. And Steven Spielberg took full blame. He said, that was my idea, don't blame George Lucas like everybody does. But then later on, Lucas said, okay, Spielberg was just trying to, you know, take the heat for me, but it was really my idea. So I can't tell which one it really is. I'm not saying Spielberg's never done anything stupid in movies or made a bad movie, but for some reason this reeks of a George Lucas idea. God awful. Again, not the worst part. The worst part of this movie, and this is what made me throw my hands up and say, alright, I've tried to give this movie some credit. I tried to have fun with this movie because there is some fun moments, there is some fun action, but at the end, when you find out that these crystal skulls are the skulls of aliens. There's aliens now in the Indiana Jones franchise. And they try to cover it up by saying, no, it's like there's a portal and there's an alternate dimension and they're not really aliens, they're just other beings and blah, 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 blah. Look, when you look at these fuckers, they're aliens. There's no doubt that they're aliens. And to say anything else is laughable. At the very end, a fucking flying saucer comes up from this kingdom and flies away. They're fucking aliens. And I don't like it. I don't like aliens being introduced into the Indiana Jones movies. Again, I get it. All of these movies are fantastical. They're over the top. None of it's believable. I know. But when you get to aliens, it feels like a different level. It feels like something that doesn't fit, doesn't match what Indiana Jones does. I don't know. Maybe I'm crazy, or maybe I'm right. It's something that I resist watching this film. Do I hate the movie? Not really. It's not the worst film in the world. There are some things to it that I like. Let me know in the comments below, guys. What do you think of Indiana Jones and the Kingdom of the Crystal Skull? Am I being too harsh on it? Or do you dislike this film? Thanks for watching. Like, comment, subscribe. Later.